Mimi niko stressed. So niko sawa. Wala sana. Genau. So let me do that. And even Zoom. Zile Zoom kwa dem fulani. Unajua nafika hapo. Sababu Kenya hii ina inakuwa people want to, nimeambiwa, no, I've been told, people want some music that is, sasa now you're getting. They should make me dance. Let me just show. Nini? Nini? Ningekuwa na-
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to KSMS. Our guests are now coming, so let us become and welcome. Thank you very much. Karibu sana. Welcome. Thank you very much. Now welcome all our guests. As we welcome those are starting at the back, please stand inside so we can all stand for our national anthem. Please let us stand. Thank you very much. I will come and karaoke. Give us a word. Yeah? Yeah, I request you stand up before the presentation. Father and our God, and one accord and in one spirit, we bow and stand before your presence with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you and we bless you for this day, for this is the day that you have made. We are going to rejoice and to be glad in it. Thank you, dear Father, that you created us. You have set apart this day for us. Women in Central Bank to be together, celebrate together, learn together, be united together this day. Worship you and we honor you. We thank you and we bless you as employees, Jehovah, that you give us knowledge and understanding to perform our duties in an excellent manner. As mothers, we pray, Lord, that we are going to bring up the children whom you have blessed us with in the ways of the Lord. In accordance to your word, when they grow up, they will not depart from that way. As sisters and aunties, Lord, I pray that we are going to be mindful of others' welfare and be a blessing. As wives, we are going to be submissive in accordance to your word. Thank you. Bless you, Jehovah God. We commit ourselves as we start our program this afternoon. Pray, mighty and everlasting Father, for our sisters. As they stand to share their life experience, Lord, I pray that we are going to learn from them. We are going to be stewards of what we learn today. In the name of Jesus, we thank you and we bless you. Receive the honor and the glory. We surrender all unto you. Take over, dear Lord. Let the program be led and guided of the Spirit of the Living God. We appreciate you and we honor you. For this is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Want to recognize the secretary and the director of the office who is going to give remarks on behalf of the deputy. I also want to recognize that in our presence today, Chief Chair, Joyce Ann Melena, the CEO of Bank, the Executive Director, KSMS, a whole Professor. Our honored guest, Jackie, representative of the National Gender Equality Commission. We have Nami, the founder of the Alabaster Trust, because we have like we also have Nancy, the proprietor, the property show. Our very good director in charge of the Bank of Kenya. Then we can take out our regular schedule to celebrate the children of our economic. Our team is here.
afternoon, friends. I realize how much but you know, I always have this opportunity to bring some of what you get in my life. But today is the opportunity of my maternal grandmother. You know, my maternal grandmother was a very astute business lady. I learned from her art of negotiating what to buy. I better tell you that if you had to negotiate with her, you better really have your facts right. And I can tell you what she was trading in. My maternal grandmother, my grandmother, used to deal with a variety of products. She was not single track. She was full track. She dealt with a variety of products. She started with bananas. I used to think, oh, how does she know about the type of banana that would be and how much it's going to fetch? How does she know that it's going to be ripe before she has taken it to the appropriate market? She also used to deal with cooking pots. Grandma, how on earth did you combine this cooking pot with bananas? And she would tell me, common sense. You're buying bananas so that you're going to cook it with. Combine products. But those from KSMS and those from the botanic us, there is a tree by our side. Two things. They produce a poor type of fruit. From where I come from, this poor type of fruit has very important significance. We used to use it. I don't now because I don't know how, but I'll probably learn when I start. Okay, so but they used to use it to make traditional beer. Secondly, she was the one she was. One of the things that I remember very well about that product was she would persuade my grandfather to make sure that this product was properly prepared for the market. My grandfather was a tough gentleman. But I assure you that when I sat there and they had the wife coming, the things were not ready, he would tell me, I need to run quickly to make sure they are ready before trouble comes in. This was an easy to do. More importantly also, that she was not going to find one market. She didn't just do things by finish. She had a reputation of being able to go far away markets. In fact, since some of you don't know because you're not born during those days, in my village there used to be only one bus. To leave precisely across where my grandmother came from. Part of that village was exactly 6 o'clock. You didn't make it. You could then back in the next day. It wasn't going to be possible. So you exactly to negotiate with the bus driver that he had to carry a banana the next day. So the bus driver exactly like to carry that. It's a consequence, of course. I don't know who, whether it's her or my grandfather, but the first time I heard about money was that they had made enough money such that they required, this is for the benefit of our chief guest today, require a permit to change the first handshake note. They require a permit from the chief. And so I knew that if everybody in the village knew they were successful, they needed a permit to change money. What type of richness is this? So today, when I see and look, I realize that all these good things I have, it is from my grandmother. So, let me start. And I can also assure you, she was a very beautiful woman. At the end of the day, she taught me how to negotiate. She did it for me. And that is why I have made it KSMS. And I hope that at the end of this discussion, if you feel you are still lost, you can come to me and I'll share more of her success stories. How did she raise her boys? How did she raise her Moratina? I can explain to you. Probably you can join that business. Thank you very much and you're welcome to KSMS.
Thank you very much, Professor. You're always encouraging and I will come here. You're coming to us, you've always given us what we never forget. Thank you very much. May I take this opportunity to appreciate our Director of Human Resources, Madam Mary Washington, for what you've done, for introducing this day to the bank. We need you to celebrate women for, but we thank you for this. Thank you because even apart from just also make sure that the day is observed, make sure that it's successful. Thank you very much for your time. You've done a lot for us, especially women, and that is the reason we are all here smiling. And may I request all of you to kindly greet your neighbor, shake her hand, smile to her, and just ask her or tell her your first name. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I only say to smile, I didn't say to stand up, I only say to smile. Thank you very much. May I take this opportunity once again to welcome her, come and tell us something, encourage us, give us a good advice on how we need to continue being good ladies in the bank. Please let us all welcome her with a clap.
Everybody hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. So first of all is to greet you and thank you, our chief guests, for joining us, Grace Ann, and our panelists, Moloni, Jacqueline, and Dali. Thank you so much for making the effort to come and join the CBK women. And the main thing is just to tell you that we have great and wonderful women in CBK. Every single day, they walk through the gate, the reception for CBK. And they come in every day to make a difference in this nation and to make a great place to work in this CBK. And every day they walk away through our gates again and take the same wonderful spirit and attitude to their families, to nurture their children, their husbands, their mothers, and their communities and societies. And they never tire. So I want to salute you all, the women of CBK, and you well done and congratulations. And keep the same positive attitude and keep making things happen. We know that globally, women have made tremendous steps and tremendous progress all over the world, making a fair and better world for everybody. We recognize women as people who not only nurture, bring to life generations after generations that have walked through years and years, and we call all these people humanity. We also know that women have faced very fundamental and serious challenges and barriers for them to be able to actualize their dreams and even to carry on their duties. Not even talking about dreams first, Because initially we hardly ever recognized that women have twins. We recognize them as vessels that are meant to maybe carry out certain functions. And on top of that, duties enhanced that do certain things. But it is very wonderful that today in the 21st century to recognize that everybody, including global leaders, even local leaders, community leaders, everywhere all over the world, they have recognized the great contribution of women. But it has not taken an easy road for this recognition to be made. We know that women all over the world, from all walks of life, in all ages and colors and creeds and persuasions, have stood up against great challenges and opposition to make their voice heard in terms of issue of gender equality. We can mention many, but just to name a few, I remember the woman doing that, the one who worked for Goodyear, the woman who dared to stand for equal pay for equal work. This is a woman who worked for a tire manufacturing company. She was a nice supervisor. She did an excellent job. During her shift, there was not a single waste or scrap or wastage. But she woke up one morning to realize that for all the work that she does, she earns less, more than 40% what men earn. And she began to fight for equal pay, for equal work. And of course, many other women who stood up, for emancipation of slaves, for equality in terms of rights, even voting rights where women could not vote, the banking rights where women could no longer bank, property rights, access to jobs, means of livelihood, and in fact, even our own First Lady standing up for issues to do with maternal health. And just to come back, we know that this year, globally, the curtains are coming down on MDGs 2015. These are everything working together at the end of government. We had issues like maternal health, and child mortality, and of course, disease and everything else that we wanted to do to ensure that we develop socially, economically, and effectively. A lot of progress has been realized. And this year, during the United Nations Commission, the United Nations Women Empowerment Principle, we had great stories about the achievements that we have had. But again, we say we have made progress, but still we are not there yet. And why are we not there yet? Because the question of gender equality has been misunderstood for a very long time. Many people think that gender equality is a feminism or a feminist movement. It is not. I want all of us from now onwards to understand that gender equality is a socio-economic development agenda. It's a sustainability agenda. It's a fairness and diversity and inclusion agenda. It's a talent management agenda. It's a global agenda. It's a local agenda. It's an organizational agenda. Every platform where a voice can be heard, then gender equality must form a conversation if we are going to develop and realize the new goals that are going to guide the world in terms of economic development, and those are SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. We are talking about sustainability all over the world. How sustainable can we be as businesses, as government, as communities, as societies, when 50% of the world population, of global population, is not included? Everybody must be included. Children must be included. Women must be included. Men must be included. Black and white must be included. Every creed, every generation must be included. We are talking about building tolerance to each other as human beings to create a much more sustainable world and to make a better world for every boy and girl who will be born from this day henceforth. And therefore, we must start looking at the gender equality conversation in the socio-economic development. If our businesses are to be sustainable, then we need people who have got equal access to means of livelihood so they have the power to purchase. How can your businesses be sustainable if 50% are able to purchase because they are not very enabled? How can our education be sustainable if 50% of the world cannot read and write or access that education? So we are talking about sustainability, and we want to reframe this conversation completely It's only that it has an advantage we take care of a face or a woman's face. And we don't apologize for that. And we shouldn't apologize for that. It's because we are trying again to get a much more inclusive society. Because where there is inclusion there, we minimize conflict. And that is very important. We are saying that in CBK, investing in women does not only make business sense, and all of us in CBK are economists by association, and of course by induction, apart from the ones who are truly economists. Anyone works in CBK, whether you work in the staff canteen, whether you work in COBA, whether you work in HR, like we are all economists. In fact, I'm an economist. So all of us are economists because we take care of the economy. And therefore, we are saying in terms of CBK, investing in women, investing in CBK women, investing in all women, and in particular CBK women, makes business sense and business sense. That is our objective, and that is our theme year in, year out. Globally, the theme this year is making things happen. And making things happen because you need 50%. Imagine when you're an individual, God bless you, 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 eyes. And you wake up one morning and say you're going to use what you want. You're going to be using only 1 leg. And you're going to be using only 1 eye. And you deliberately take actions that then actually bar the ability and the full potential of 1 hand, 1 eye, 1 leg, 1 ear. Can you believe that? But indeed, that is what we have done continuously for many years. And because structurally, all structures within systems and government, whether a political organization, business organization, whether they are religious organization, they were structured in such a way that they would not discriminate against women. And that is what we call systemic and structural discrimination. To address that, we know many governments and many societies have made a legislation to 1/3. And maybe we are going to be hearing much more from the government representatives of the gender commission chapter about the 1/3. But legislation is only the bare minimum because it just brings us to the threshold. Because really, truly, where we should be, we are saying 50-50, if not now, why not? That is true inclusion. Therefore, either gender should be equally represented because we know diversity, according to research, makes a lot of difference. We know that diverse institutions that have got senior women in senior management, that have got women on boards, and we have got full participation of women in the talent pipeline. We know that those organizations outperform their competition by at least 35%. That is what research shows. That is why we are all clamoring and saying we need diversity at the level of the board, both acquired and inherent diversity. So that is so important. So we are saying that it makes business sense to support better employment opportunities for women. Investing in women employment is key to unlocking growth in large developing countries. Economic growth is more robust and sustainable when women and men alike participate fully in the labor market. This year, Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, said, when we unleash the power of women, we secure the future for all. We secure the future for all. Children, men and women, boys and girls. The International Labour Organization estimates that nearly half, 48% of global productive potential of female population remains untapped. And even at the level of the organization, I'm reading research but that has been done by Harvard Business. And they're saying that even at the organization level, the talent pipeline is not fully optimized where women are concerned. And we are forcing high potential women to round off the talent pipeline because we are forcing women to choose between family and work. And what we are saying then, it is abuse of human rights to force a woman to choose between family and career. She should be allowed to have both. And therefore, organizations globally are being called through a CEO commitment and the 7 principles of United Nations Women Empowerment Principles to sign up that business leaders are going to deliberately take action to allow women to have families and excel in their careers. We know that during Industrial Revolution, women had to fight for rights to have toilets at the workplace. Do you know a long time ago that factories only had toilets for men? And therefore, it took the industrial movement and union movement and welfare movement to fight for sitting space for women in factories and to fight for toilets. And we are saying today that the way it is natural to put up a building with toilets for men and women, it should be very natural for us to put every building to have daycare, childcare, lactation rooms, to allow women to be able to work and excel and at the same time be mothers. We know that organizations that have realized the cost of losing a high potential. Yesterday I was reading statistics that show that in Wall Street today, to lose an investment banker and a lawyer, a woman who you have trained for 5 years because of families and they've been losing them, to replace the same competencies takes at least 3 times the salary of that lawyer, just to replace. And to fast track them and bring up the same level of productivity can take almost 7 to 10 times the annual salary of that security lawyer. Business are now starting to recognize the cost of forcing women to ramp up from their career path, forcing them to choose between family and career. It is a cost to the business, as much as it's an abuse of human rights of that woman. So it is very important that we actually start saying it makes business sense and sense. We say that when you look at the PepsiCo sustainability report for 2010, while discussing performance purposes for women, since women account for 1/2 of the potential talent base, all of us are national and nations going to invest whether or how educate and utilize female talent. Economies in both developed and developing will never fully leverage their power to achieve sustainable growth until every woman has a historic right to learn and earn. So we shall put CBK there. We stand up to the equality. And I want to thank the management of CBK, from the governor, deputy governor, our board, our senior management, and each one of you, because you're part of management, all the way to our support staff, for making it possible for the CBK to have proper gender mainstreaming and to move beyond the bare minimums of gender mainstreaming, to create a CBK Women Forum, to have a CBK Women's Day to raise awareness, because everything starts with awareness, then desire, then action. And then you can see the results and the movement and the change. So each one of us, we want to thank CBK because we have not only committed time, we have given a budget possible. To speak for the government, so that we have got a healthy budget on gender mainstreaming and CBK women development programs. So in terms of that, sorry, so with that, I would like to say that I don't want to go on and on. We have got our other speakers who will be joining. I thank you for giving me this opportunity. Well done, our MP. And don't you love the CBK shirt? We love our brand, don't we? Very much. I, for one, am so glad that about and now I'm going to invite
It's my pleasure to again this year. I recall we were again last year. Now, the deputy governor of Africa was new after fortunately, luckily for me, he held up in Mombasa making a presentation to the Kenyan employees and high officials from the president and just so what I have is remarks, which I will without or any question. So it is my singular pleasure, honor to be invited to grace the 2015 CBK Women's. By marking this day as part of our calendar event, we join the international community under the leadership of the Nations Organization to support the struggle for gender equality and organize women's economic and social achievements in all spheres of life. Let me take this opportunity to thank Ms. Joyce Ann, the executive officer of CBK Kenya, for accepting to raise this important question of our chief guests. Your professional achievements will be notable and the testament of what women can achieve given the opportunity. Chief guest colleagues, the International Women's Day 2015 was celebrated around the world on 8 March 2015 under the theme Empowering Women, Empowering Humanity. The theme calls upon us to envision a world in which every woman, mother, sister, daughter, and girl is free to access educational, political, social, and economic opportunities, and to live in societies free from violence. It calls on all people who dismantle the fetters of discrimination and unfair treatment of any form, and do everything possible to prevent it from being meted women folk, whether at home or in the workplace. Keeping with the global theme, the Central Bank of Kenya today marks this important day not only to show solidarity with the ideals of women empowerment, but also as evidence of institutional commitment to the gender mainstreaming act. So, the Central Bank of Kenya is aligning itself with the progressive ideals espoused under the banner of empowering women, empowering humanity. In addition, we are taking up our responsibility to celebrate women's achievements globally while paying greater attention to women's rights and gender equality within our institutions. The theme for 2015 CBK Women's Day is investing in women makes sense and sense. This theme underscores the verified correlation between investment in women and economic advancement for communities. Whenever women are financed access to finance and economic resources, communities are greatest of better economic prospects and improvement in Indeed, where women's participation in the labor force grew fastest, the economy experienced the largest reduction in poverty rates, making it less likely that families are nourished. In addition, property ownership by women, according to some studies, help reduce their vulnerability to domestic violence. Moreover, an increase in disposable income translates into food security and education for the wider community. The same goes if you empower a woman, you empower the family whole. The financial platform that the bank has been a boon for women in business, enabling enhanced capacity to leverage on technology to access finance markets. The streaming of mobile financial services has been particularly impactful with millions of women in Kenya now able to access financial services and give them a strong foothold in the financial sector. As you are all aware, central bank public policy says the bank is conscious that the largest beneficiaries are the marginalized groups with the women for the employed. Indeed, a number of notable policy legislative and regulatory reforms have taken place in the last few years to specifically enhance access to affordable financial services to low income, particularly women. Through these initiatives, many women have been able to take control of their own lives. The central bank upholds the dignity of women and upholds new hearings and allow those that the creator has bestowed on the person. In this regard, the bank commits to every initiative, law or practice that will enhance the value and place of women in our institutions. The bank will not discriminate against women and will without hesitation encourage those practices that ensure equal access to resources and education opportunities. Furthermore, the bank is committed to actively relook at existing institutional structures, if any, that disadvantage women in pursuit of their careers. Additionally, the bank will implement all constitutional provisions that advance the cause of women in the institution. Let me highlight some of the work of the programs the bank is implementing as part of the gender agenda. One, women leadership development programs, which identify and grow women's talent, as well as propose solutions to challenges confronted in the workplace. Two, entrenchment of gender mainstreaming agenda in the CBK HR policies to codify best practice in gender policy. Three, development of the sexual harassment policy, reporting framework to protect women from unsolicited sexual harassment. This I think is very relevant given what was happening. Or codification of equal opportunity employer in HR policy, through fair training and recruitment. The bank is keen to have more women in the board and senior management level. 5. Development of targeted training and capacity to empower our female employees. 6. Compliance to country provisions, time off for breastfeeding mothers, provided for in labor laws, short provision of lactation rooms to enable us mothers to express breast. I reiterate that the bank is open for constructive and value-added proposals that improve the workplace environment and enhance the capacity of our women employees to discharge their professional and gender-specific responsibilities. Let me say once more that the bank values and honors the contribution of the evidence supporting the benefits of women empowerment economy, both poverty, health, status, and communities are more stable and resilient. Our response, therefore, personal and institutional level, commits and supporting to end gender discrimination and inequality in developed states. On behalf of the Central Bank, I confirm that the bank shall mainstream gender to the fullest extent possible to step it up for our women in the bank, for gender equality, and for all that is expected and empowerment for women in the bank, with the ultimate aim of achieving Planet 50 for 2030. Once again, the bank is very certain accepting to raise the 20 CBK Women's Day celebration as our chief guest. I also thank the organizing committee, here with our administrative shepherds. No doubt, much time and energy has gone into making this day reality. With this remarks, I wish you a happy CBK Women's Day 2015. Thank you, and God bless you all.
I think ladies, we know how to start better than that. And then now, no. Wait. He has given us and he has promised to put this to us. Now, as mothers, we know how to say things. I want to ask you how to clap for him. So we are going to do 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Thank you very much. So can we do it now for him? 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. I now welcome my co-MC Irene to proceed. And so, what plan? I think that's the initiative. Yes. So, typically, when the board site on with our program. It's a pleasure now to introduce to you one of our speakers today, Ms. Jacqueline Kesa, Head of Gender and Women Department at the National Gender Equality Commission. Now, these ladies are powerhouses. So, my fellow please let's she has a master's degree in gender and development studies, a bachelor's degree in sociology and geography studies. Jacqueline worked at the European Union project was strengthening accountability in government and parties by benchmarking research. She has lectured on pathway basis in the gender and development studies department of the Institute of Anthropology and African Studies at the University. She has developed various publications on gender and governance. She has developed a gender and justice curriculum for the MS Training Center for Development Cooperation, the MS. Let's put our hands together and welcome Ms. Jacqueline.
As you are aware, I work for the National Gender and Equality Commission. So for me, much as some people would think, sometimes we go to places and when you say you work for the Gender Commission, you're told, that commission that fights for women's rights. But just as in its name, the commission looks into the plight of the special interest groups and stipulated in the Kenyan Constitution, and all Kenyans first, and then women, men, the six special interest groups are women, persons with disabilities, the youth, the children, the elderly, the marginalized and minority groups. So I'm delighted to be here. I know the International Women's Day took place on the 8th of March. So it's good to realize that institutions are still observing or celebrating women in the month of March, which is really good. As a commission, we uphold the principles of equality and non-discrimination, and of course, we observe all the days that celebrate our special interest groups. So maybe to just begin, I get all protocols observed, ladies and all gentlemen. I'm here representing my chairperson of the National Gender and Equality Commission. Due to other commitments, she was not able to be here, but I hope I'll fit in her shoes. I like being sent such assignments because sometimes when you buy shoes and they don't fit, you wear them, they fit more and more, they ultimately fit. So that is what my dream is, fitting those shoes complete. So I'll highlight just a bit on what the government is doing in terms of gender equality, but also just to bring to attention that actually as a commission, we are an oversight government agency. So we don't implement per se, but we oversee what government institutions are doing. And as the HR director was presenting, and also the other speakers, representatives of the CBK, I was glad to know that at least you are adhering to what the National Gender and Equality Commission has been looking out for. And I hope you submit your report safely. And when it comes to marking that, you will actually go as you have said, you do gender mainstreaming initiatives or activities. So So just to start, I'll start by saying that gender equality is a concept that connotes sameness or impartiality in treatment of one gender relative to the other. So as I said, as a commission, yes, we promote women as one of our special interest groups, but we wouldn't like to leave men on the wayside because we know that even in a family, which is the basic unit of society, if the woman and man are not together, of course, the family won't stand. And so since the family is the ultimate reflection of even our institutions, then that is really important that we work together as men and women to achieve our goals. And on a light note, I think it would have even been better to have some of the same men more, more than the ones who are here celebrating their women, because you're part and parcel of the fraternity, and I'm sure they also play a role in your development as women. But that's on a light note. I know there must be good reasons why you don't have it as a special forum for mostly women. So just to make reference to the Constitution, which I know all of us voted for, majority of us voted for, maybe there are some who didn't, but since it is so I am Article 27 on the Constitution. I hope all of us have read it. Some of us are might be thinking of those Kenyans who, such documents are read on our behalf by who. So within that article, which forms the basis of the commission functions, I'll just name a few, just to emphasize on the importance of promotion of equality and non-discrimination. Every person is equal before the law and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law. And I was happy when CBK mentioned that you take care of reproductive roles of women within the bank, so that if you have lactating mothers, at least they have the opportunity to maybe express their milk so that they work comfortably, you can take time off, and so on and so forth. Just to mention that, I think I mentioned to one of you that actually this morning I woke up and my daughter was unwell, so I started with hospital first. First I was thinking, will I make it for this function? But thanks to the commission, we also have those privileges that, when you have such an issue, your child is sick, or issues related to your reproductive role, at least you're given an opportunity to fulfill all the roles, even alongside your work. So I applaud UK for that. And then equality includes the full and equal enjoyment of rights and fundamental freedoms. Women and men have the right to equal treatment, including the right to equal opportunities in political, economic, cultural, and social spheres. And I'd like to, maybe because I don't know so much of the inside of it today, but I just want to remind us also that women is not a homogeneous group. We are women, yes, but there are women with special needs. There are women with disabilities. So as an equality commission, probably in a forum like this, but again, I respect because you know your organization well, then we would have appreciated maybe a sign language interpreter in case you have persons with hearing impairment, or materials in braille in case they okay, maybe that's where you asked, because if I had visual impairment, I don't know whether you have had material in braille so that I'm comfortable even as I address you, and so on and so forth. So even as we provide good working environment for women, again, I hope we also go beyond just women and men and look at the special needs of women, special needs of men. Men with disabilities, women with disabilities, across board. Because I know it's a requirement for public institutions, maybe to have ramps, special toilets and all that. Those are things that you can see. But beyond that, there are other needs that might be required by such people that you also need to always put at the back of your mind when you're planning. And then women have the right to equal treatment, including to equal opportunities. So I think I've said that, and I'm happy that CBK even has a program for women empowerment, because I know that the area of banking, for instance, historically it's been a confined movement. And so again, I'm happy that there is a chief guest who has spoken the glass ceiling and actually made it to that level in the banking sector. Also, maybe just to mention another aim for women in the Constitution, Article 81, that gives opportunities again to advance the gender agenda, that provides that the electoral system shall comply with certain principles, which include the not more than 2/3 gender principle in elective and appointed positions. And I think the government has endeavored to do this, and I think mostly been the secretariat for the technical working group that was constituted by the Attorney General to come up with a framework on the 2/3 gender principle, which again, you're all aware that the Supreme Court ruled that we should have a framework in place by August of this year. So there's been consultative processes going on, and up to about last week or thereabouts, the technical working group, has been grappling with a number of suggestions, and ultimately the suggestion that is on the table again is in regards to the top-up, which I know many people will have issues with because of the wage bill, as we all say. But again, I think we throw it back to us. And women, is investing in women so expensive, or what shall we do? But it is something that is still at lobbying stage, lobbying parliament, the key stakeholders, and we can see the ultimate outcome pretty soon. But also, there are arguments. I remember talking to a colleague, male colleague in the office, and he was of the opinion that, people should not be given things on a silver platter. I don't know what the rest of you think. But again, a silver platter is, debatable, based on the surrounding circumstances. When you look at our political arena, how gender sensitive it is to women vis-a-vis men. And also what the previous speaker just highlighted, when you look at the issues of gender-based violence. We know that during our political activities, there are a lot of gender-based violence, incidences that are reported, even meted against prospective female candidates. So, and that makes many women shy away from that politics. So again, I think as we think of our framework, I think also we need to really have strict rules that are governing the political arena so that women are enabled. And that goes even to our institutions. I'm happy that CBK has a gender-based violence in place. You remember also at national level, the president launched the national gender-based violence in November last year, and I think that should also be a reference document for our institutions, to review and align it to the national document. And also, at the same time, he launched a campaign known as the He for She campaign. And that's why I was saying that it would be, better to have more men celebrating with the women because, like the He for She campaign is advocating for men to stand up for gender equality, to fight for women's rights, right from the home to the public arena. So that when a woman is being stripped in a bus or on the street, the men around can stand up for that woman and, protect her against the perpetrators and even ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. And that's why I continually say that, gender equality cannot be achieved if you work alone as women, but you have to work hand in hand with the men so that you achieve it. So the other documents that really highlight and is a benchmark for government institutions towards the realization of gender equality is the Vision 2030, which has again provisions for us to achieve the requirements and providing financial support to women to raise their incomes and reduce gender gaps in funding. We know that historically poverty has had the face of a woman. So the government again has put in place a number of initiatives to reach that, like the Weather Fund, the Youth Fund, the Disability Fund, and many other funds that women can tap into. And also, I'm sure you're aware of the 30% procurement rule for persons with disabilities, women, and youth-led institutions. And I hope even the CBK, even in the House, are actually beneficiaries of that fund. Anyone? Economists. I thought economists would be at the forefront in tapping into such funds because sometimes when these funds are put in place, we always imagine that there is that other woman who actually needs it more than you do. But I think it's an opportunity for all of us, and it doesn't discriminate against any woman irrespective of your standing in society. So I would encourage us to look out for it. The HR mentioned about a commission on the status of women that just ended. The women in diaspora, in New York and New Jersey, actually requested the Ministry of Information and Planning to go and give them a talk on this 30% procurement opportunities. They are actually really interested. So you can see something that anyone can tap into. And just to boast a bit as Kenyans, and we should be proud, all of us, that during that PSW, actually Kenya was ranked very highly for the 30% procurement opportunity. I think we are among the first in the world to do that because currently it's recognized as one of the very strong tools of women's empowerment because you're giving government opportunities to women and not necessarily just telling them to look for opportunities elsewhere because you're looking at the resources you have at hand, really encouraging them to tap into them. So I don't know how much time I have left. Okay, thank you. So as a commission, as I mentioned, in our oversight role, we monitor public institutions. About a month ago, we were auditing public institutions in terms of gender mainstreaming, and we could come to CBK. I hope in the next round we will come for the good things that we've been talking about. And generally, we talked of maternity leave being entrenched in your HR policy. I hope paternity leave too, because we went to some of institutions around the country, and some men actually didn't know that they are entitled to paternity leave. So again, awareness to the men and even beyond awareness, because some men apparently don't go for paternity leave because of stigma, and it's not manly to go for paternity. But I think as an institution, if you encourage them and highlight the value of their participation in bringing up children at that tender age, I think it's something that will be helpful in bringing up healthy families. And then we also are spearheading a national campaign called Keeping the Promise to End Gender-Based Violence. And this is calling on duty bearers like the judiciary, the national police, the health sector, and all key stakeholders to be accountable to Kenyans, but also ensure that matters gender-based violence are handled with the seriousness that is needed. As we speak right now, a team talking to councils of elders across the country, I think last week to the injury checkers, and this year with the fires in Kwale, just encouraging them to embrace the formal justice system when it comes to matters gender-based violence. Because I remember, in the not so far past, there was a case reported, I think, in Samburu, where a 30 or 35-year-old man fined a 9-year-old girl. And actually, the fine that was given by the elders was a god. And to think of if this man has 1,000 gods, how many more women and girls will he be violating, just knowing that after all, it's only for a court. So for us, much as the Constitution recognizes culture, respect culture, but again, gender-based violence is a criminal offense that must be dealt with the magnitude that it deserves. So again, that is an area that we are focusing on, and also encouraging institutions to put measures in place to ensure that matters gender-based violence do not happen, or if they happen, they are handled in the best way possible, that in accordance with the provided the laws that are provided for. As I conclude, again, just to emphasize the need to look at gender equality as something that is beyond just men and women, but looking at the special interest groups, and also even looking at women or men from marginalized and minority groups. I know that in each institution, or when you think counties, of course, there will be marginalized groups in different county level. But at the national level, I think we can derive it from the constitutional definition that we care for all those people within us. And that's to call on us as individuals. You can look at government as that object there, but who is government? It is you and I. So what are you doing towards upholding principles of equality and non-discrimination as an individual, right from the family level, within your community, at work, and nationally? So I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best as you advance the gender agenda, and many blessings. And the Commission is committed to working with the Central Bank by partnering in various ways that we are available. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. I now call upon our director, Francis, to present to our board directors who came here to be with us today.
Anything else? Gentlemen, Nadia, Professor Finazzi, this nice point, really love it. So, madam. One man, one woman. Professor, for you and all the professors in your life. Thank you. And indeed, I'm going for Madam Professor. This is a professor by inaction. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. We are not getting you away, but we just have to thank you, and anything you want to do now, thank you very much. I now take this opportunity to invite my mentor and coach, Imani Bidali, to work with women who are restless for transition, who want to move from their comfort zone to a great zone. Imani equips women with a step-by-step system that helps them overcome fear, like me, insecurities, self-doubt, and self-limitation. She enables them to confidently live purpose. She has coached more than 5,000 women, reached 40,000 via live events, and millions via her TV program, I and Spoken. Imani believes that these testimonies of women who have successfully gone through Alabaster Network Trust program is a narrative for women in Africa as we set up to claim the perspective. Sorry, Susanna, by much.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Please stand up and next and tell her, I celebrate you. I celebrate you. And give her a compliment and not regarding her dress. Tell her something great about her and not her like the dress on your style. Something real. So thank you so much for having me here. I want to thank the organizers of this event. I want to thank the leadership of CBK for showing their commitment, their country commitment, and everyone who has been involved in putting this together. I also want to appreciate that Design Elena. Thank you so much for doing that today. And for everyone who has showed up, because we had not a lot, but you showed up. So well done. My name is Imani Bidali, and I am an empowerment coach. And empowerment knows a been and it's not a big profession. I don't need empowerment coach in empowerment. And I will tell you more about that shortly. I am the founder of Advocacy and Trust, an organization that is committed to helping women identify and overcome self-defeating practices that self-defeating practices so they can be able to do their life. Right? So, and we reach a diversity of women in the program for young adults, and also have a program for adults from the age of 21, and the oldest woman in our program was 76 years old. She was brought by her daughter to 50 have no experience. So this woman who was able to take things to our program, she took the work because of her the age. So over and done. So we just use the little barrier. So but I think that the program they will use the work space. So after we the work space, they say, for what? I have so much people and I have so much. All right. So we have no experience. We reach a diversity of women from aspects of social status, economic status, different religious backgrounds, women, and and the thing about the program when we started, and I'm glad that before you were able to feminism and a program at community at different and that because when we started at a basket that feminism, so men were very affordable. They were women come to the program, they will leave there with the homes, and no one was able to touch them. But as the program, so I think why don't you can't start attacking us that has been planted in the ground? Why don't you wait for them to fruit? Because no one argues with them. You cannot give a seed in the ground, a mango or a banana or whatever, but it comes out. But in time, I find the last year, the students have come out. Indeed, men have done some of the students advocacy about it. Some women have got an issue because their husbands who are paying for the program. There's a man who pays for the 5 women who are integral in his life. For mother-in-law, for his wife, and for his sister, and for one other family member. But for I have paid for 100% for the when I look at your school, which is about university, I would like to speak to that because I speak about women. Talk about women are that. When women talk about they are not the women are. When you say you know the women are, what are you talking about? You're talking about yourself. So talk about investing in this one. Makes sense and sense. I would like to say to yourself, investing in me. Makes what? Business sense and business. Can you say it? Investing in me makes business sense. Because when you invest in yourself, they will take loans. They are in loans. They'll get invest, but they're not going to invest in themselves. So can we have a little conversation? And I love that Mary said that from a math book, because it's a part of the policy, it's a part of the law, it's a part of the opportunity that Sarah for. But there is also your role and your responsibility. There is also what you need to deal with. And that's why Alabaster we are based on Romans 12, which says, not conform any longer to the pattern, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Then you can be able to test and approve what was good, pleasing, and perfect. Don't conform any longer to the patterns of this world. They are patterns of this world that patterns that have tried to define you as a woman and tell you who you ought to be and where you place. Patterns that women have come to analyze and believe that they are. And these patterns have resulted in women feeling that I am not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not a good enough mother, I'm not a good enough wife, because there's a certain, I don't know enough of that, a prototype of what a perfect I ought to be, what a great woman ought to be, what a great wife ought to be. We internalize them so much that sometimes even and somehow even think about we see a woman somewhere and think, I think it's going to be that way. Or we sitting and we think, I think that's going to be that in our mother better. Because you can't believe that I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy. Listening to society will break and we cause it to sabotage. And when you go to usually I talk from a church perspective. It's more better. There is a pattern there that women are supposed to conform to in order to a perfect woman who is respectful. The word submissiveness is true. The women have made their own meaning, their own reason out of it. When we attend wedding functions, it's no better that a woman will call you some water and let it in your mouth before you say what you have to say. And this is the same woman who's going to go into a boardroom and speak up. How? She will drink water before she has to speak up. Okay? So it is important for us to look at these and what they are forcing us and are they necessary? Because a woman is working thinking I'm not a good enough wife, and then a promotion opens up. I'm not good enough for it. I'm not worthy for it. I'm not that. And should she get it, she'll say, oh my, I don't know what is going on. She'll be sitting in that position, feeling like I'm proud, because she thinks somebody else is more better than she is. She'll be thinking, what is they'll find it out. So the woman begins to become very apologetic. He said, and sorry for it. Better than sorry. She presses the way she's going sorry. She brought something sorry. She needs a chair sorry. We almost want to apologize for being alive. Why should that be the case? So empowerment is about the woman. God looks at us in her spiritual thoughts. God looks at her emotional being and her emotional. God looks at her physical being and her physical. She will take her the opportunities that things her because she's poor, she felt and she poor. So there is another view about the fact that I looked at the program and said the amount of people that for me, then consistency, but then I said, you close and you retire. Okay, because we shall be up. But I have to make my clarion call. I have to make what that I have to make the clarion call. And my clarion call comes actually from the Bible. It comes from Isaiah 52, verse 1 to verse 2. Isaiah 52, verse 1 to verse 2. And my clarion call to you is to wake up. Is to wake up. You've been asleep for way too long. Because an old man conforms so much the patterns of the world and looks for the world to fight for her, she ought something in her begins dying slowly to the inside. And this woman begins to become a functional robot. She's functional, yes, but she's not quite alive. Something in her died a long time ago. And women died, I can tell a woman is dead from death very much. They just go through the motions of life. They have what we call a dead fish. You know, have this narrative last year? Visualize it on the mouth where they say this, but they are because their eyes. They die, they say it's burned my soul, but they think it's burned my soul, they have to take tablets because they can't naturally. They think it's burned my soul, but they have Alzheimer's and other diseases. And they what? Well, but what they say? He and my what did you make the word? There's so many opportunities that but the time has come for us to wake up. This Isaiah 62 verse 1 as I say, awake, awake. So I mean when we talk about awake is a sense of urgency. Awake, you just can't awake. This awake. It's like you need to be shaken. It's a sense of you can tell her awake. Awake. It's time for us to stop sitting to Jesus. Awake. Clothe yourself with strength. Clothe yourself with strength. And clothe yourself with strength, I love this picture because you clothe yourself every single day, isn't it? And sometimes you forget where the strength that you need to get. And there's even you need strength. And you need to understand that something we talk about in the past, that picture between a strong woman and a woman of strength. The two are not the same. A strong woman is a woman who's like made of steel, and I have not come across that. Because a strong woman will take anything that is thrown at her, but because she's strong, she's able to just take it all, it's like bring it on. A strong woman will fight every battle. Even though which one is that everything for fighting. Even the fly is looking for finishing. Even the fly, simply fly. Everything is fighting. That's a strong woman. But a woman of strength understands where her strength comes from. And a woman of strength knows that time does not have the strength. A woman of strength understands that she cannot be God. But a strong woman will respect the safety and the God of her family. So everything for it. But a woman of strength understands that her strength comes from God. It gives strength to the wearer. A woman of strength therefore knows when to rest and that she will not be tempted if she is not resting and sleeping. Okay? A woman of strength understands that she will ask for help. That asking for help is not a sign of weakness. That asking for help is a sign of insecure. Only insecure women do not accept help for asking for it. And this undermines our ability to also delegate more so many work. Because when you can't ask and accept help, you will not be an effective person to delegate. Because it makes you feel help. But a woman of strength understands it's okay for me to ask for help. It's okay for me to accept. But a strong woman is not ask for help because it makes her do better. So, clothe yourself with strength. That's what it says. Awake, clothe yourself with strength. Put on your beautiful garments. Put on your beautiful garments. During our we were used to work for a lot of people around Christmas time. I think we do a lot of so we used to wait for Christmas so that when the dress was bought, they could bought in November. Every single day I asked the man to say, because all I was thinking about is my dress. I want to wear my dress. So I'm waiting for permission to wear my dress. And whenever I wore the dress, and I was told, and don't make the other girls feel bad. Don't go boasting to make them feel bad. So put on your beautiful garments. So this is also affected the ability of women to acknowledge and express their accomplishments and their success. Women don't take compliments. Let alone be able to say, this is what I've accomplished, yeah, and this is where I have succeeded. They don't. They feel like they're making other people feel bad. They think like, don't you think that is boasting or having too much? Too much according to who has at the moment that you measure. What has now existed about your story. But when you are achievements and your successes, how do you celebrate Women's International Day when you cannot on a level? Be able to look back and take stories and say, this is what I've accomplished and this is where I am. We're still looking for permission to wear our garments, but the time has come. So, your beautiful garments, you're not showing off. You don't have to apologize and say the way you want the story. That was not the question. What you say is that that's the beautiful dress. They think that's the correct answer of the correct that. Not that this all these bold things that in the wardrobe for them have to yes. Thank you. You did that assignment very well. Hey, you know, by the way, if you know for don't know when then you did assignment well. What's the correct response? Thank you. I appreciate that. And when you go for your appraisal next time, be sure to wear the beautiful garments and not just about the outside garments and talk about your accomplishments and your success. For example, they talk about it. It's not that you're boasting over. So not make anybody out so bad. Away, clothe yourself with strength. Put on your beautiful garments, the unwholesome and the undefiled put their clothes again. This particular verse has boundaries for yourself. They are wholesome. There are some things that you have told, when I realized that most abuse, emotional abuse, having worked for 5,000 people, I realized that most of the emotional abuse happen in the That's when they are told they are foolish. They are too much. You think you're going to make it, you're too slow. You don't think. So, when you don't have healthy boundaries, what happens is that you take that on and you go directly into your heart. And the whole day and the whole month, you begin behaving like that. So every meeting you go to, start by saying, this had better not do that. Not because of anything, just because that you are told that by somebody else that like you need to have something boundaries. You know what the Lord will not say to heart. The unwholesome, literally internally that are wholesome and God has given you that. That's why the word of God is guard your heart. Guard your heart. It is possible. That's Proverbs 46. And the defiled, the unwholesome and the defiled won't get into you again. The unwholesome, unwholesome and defiled. Yeah, it's amazing how organizations, people who are trying to send to have an structure. Now, where do you think that people are taking each other? Because I put you back by your desk and lunch, that's where you land. You're not going to do lunch, you're going to just be defiling each other and intoxicating each other, but then you there, you're so very much more disgruntled than ever before. But I'm coming corrupt with morals, you understand that? She also corrupt. You really want to go in fact. You want everything about politics. You need to define your association. You need to define your association. Birds of a feather flock together. It's time that you define your flock. Right? So awake, clothe yourself with strength, put on your garments, the unwholesome and defiled will get into you again. Shake yourself off the dust. Shake yourself off the dust. That's what the verse says. And this means when you trip and fall, and when somebody tries to make you trip and fall, don't roll in the dust. Don't roll in the dust. Don't roll in the mud. When someone says that you're stupid, there's somebody who tries to do it. But then, don't start saying things like, actually, thought I'm stupid. They thought I'm stupid. Wait, I'll show them. That is rolling in the mud and rolling in the dust. When you trip and fall, there's sometimes ambitious and successful and real. Dust off the dust. Just shake off the dust. And do what? Step on. Step on. Shake yourself off the dust. You can't be in the same mud pits that you felt 5 years ago. And every time you meet people, you just describe the mud pits. And say, can't look for me. Keeping yourself in mud pits. Okay, so let's leave the mud pits. Put on your beautiful garment. The undefiled and the unwholesome and you again. Shake yourself off. Arise and sit erect in a dignified place. Arise. Arise. That means get up. There is action required. It's an upward and forward motion. For you to arise and sit erect in a dignified place, not just any place, but a dignified place. This means giving yourself permission to be promoted, to take on certain positions that open up for you. Because even find themselves certain because of internalizing the I talked about earlier. Finish is given a place on a high table where the other people sit. She sits there and she thinks, I was just sitting there. was teaching myself, I was thinking, oh my God, I can't do this. I was thinking, I was wondering, what exactly am I doing here? So you wonder, who is it that is supposed to sit there in those dignified places? Don't you? You need to sit there and those an apology because you deserve to sit there. You're worthy to be there. That's why they put you in the first place. So arise and sit well in a dignified place. Awake, awake. Clothe yourself with strength. Put on your beautiful garments. The unwholesome and defiled will enter, won't get into again. Shake yourself off the dust. Arise and sit erect in a dignified place. Lose yourself from the bands on your neck. Lose yourself from the bands on around your neck. There are some things that weigh us down and they keep your head down. There are things, maybe some places that you need, some things that you have done, some experiences that you've been through that have become like heavy bands around your neck. So you always focus your head down like this. This is a call for a healthy self-esteem. It's a call for us to lose the habits, relationships, thoughts, beliefs that keep us stuck, that weigh us down. That is what it's all about. It's about developing that healthy self-esteem. So awake, awake, from the self-strength, put on your beautiful garments. The unwholesome and defiled will get into you again. Shake yourself off the dust. Arise and sit regularly in 5 minutes. Lose yourself with the bands on your neck. O captive daughter of destiny. So it is called the last verse, O captive daughter of destiny. What has kept you captive? What has made you captive? Let the privilege of talking to some women in prison. These women are the women that were given to speak in prison. Were women who are serving time or who were in demand, on demand for some capital crimes. So they are women who are in a prison in a prison. And then we convert those women, 95 of them. Apparently they are like 200. I realized that they were not different from us and they're sitting there. The difference between them and their peace people is the wall. And what God did there, I said to them, no, I know you certain others are not very different from that. You have the guts that the people go. You have had God for mother, but that was mother. You have planned this deep, but you do not have the guts. And so, things like you, that you need to how not to execute every thought that flows through your mind. Okay? So the first one thing about so this is saying who has to have for it is saying for you to get out of that. But you put to yourself. When you're looking through the bad and thinking this opportunity, that opportunity, have that important. Put that important in organization. Say, hey, you can just get your back here. Let me tell you what is happening. Not just get important. And take the right completely 5 days and there that you find woman. Moving from being a woman is a captivating woman. As a pure woman is captivating. We have had men come to our program when they worked the women in their lives was the process. And they came to say, now I can relate with my wife. Because she is secure and she is empowered. Does not react to everything that I did in person. But the other day she said something like that to us because she realized what she didn't have to do everything. We had children coming to say, I love my new mom. Thank you for bringing my mom back. I have so many letters from children who are adding their own voice to say, an empowered woman is also an empowered woman. And she has so much value to her. She's more lovable and she's more lovable. So my message to you today is awake, 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 awake. Can you tell me my name is awake, awake. Awake. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay. Last week I learned something very beautiful. We had it before. First you tell them, then you tell them that you told them. The professor who taught me before. Then tell them again what you told them. Say it again. As women, awake, awake. I'm going to introduce our two guests. Joyce Elena. She holds a PhD in finance with both an MSc in Financial Economics from the University of London. Joyce earned Joyce's feedback in 1999 as an executive trainee stroke relationship manager. She has over 24 years of leadership in South Africa and Zambia, covering country management, corporate management, product management, operations and control. Joyce has also served as CEO of the Chief Talent Officer for CBK years, and she is the CC Country Officer and CEO of Kenya and East Africa, position she has held in July 2014. She has served on several boards, including the Junior Achievement the American Chamber of Commerce Kenya, and Zambia Bankers Association. Founding trustee of Date Fund and inventor in the Global Bank Platform. She's a winner of the prestigious Company of the Awards for 2003, where she was the title manager of the year. This award is conferred by Kenya Institute of Management. Before I ask her to come forward, one of the things I really want to note is that this powerhouse joins the company Citibank right at the bottom, where most of us graduate. So I think that's something we want to know, and especially those who are just training that you can work your way up. One of the things I know before I left corporate Kenya was the high turnover. She has been from this, and that's a good. Thank you. Now let's put our hands together for Joyce and good afternoon, everybody. The biggest challenge, however, is Madam, a week. I'm still getting over that. But sincerely, this has been a wonderful afternoon. I've enjoyed myself very, very much. And first of all, I've been asked to thank Washeke. Yes, Washeke. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to the gentleman, both gentlemen sent away earlier. But I really do appreciate. I know we had a long conversation about I'd like to also acknowledge everybody from Central Bank, the women of Central Bank, and the board gentlemen, my fellow panelists. It's great to share time with all of you, all strong women. I know some of them very long ago. And I was given very free space on what to talk about. Pretty free space. So over lunch, I asked a couple of women that I met, who I know for a long time, who do you want to hear from? And I got various versions of what they want to hear, but a lot of it was, how on earth have you stuck with him actually 25 years this month in an organization like Citibank? I remember meeting some guy once and he told me, so you yourself there all this time. Are
are you the chief guy with the knife? No, I'm not. I'm not the guy. But I'd like to talk about how and how I actually. To be very honest, I am a victim to all those things you have said. I sometimes feel like quite controlled. You know, it comes naturally. I'm like, that's not exactly what I expected. So I get it. And I get all the other women out there who feel like, awake, said awake, and put on your beautiful garment. And so, why? Because when I got the job of CEO, I absolutely used to have a celebration with my friends. My father said, "What?" So he called him and had the party. But I still have a celebration. So I can remind you. And you know why? Just in case it was a dream. So those are the truth. But let me tell you why it feels like a fraud and why these things take place. So we talked about women being 50% of the world's population. So when you think about it, 50% is equal. So how many women do you think sit as CEOs in the Fortune 500 companies? What's the percentage? Does anyone do that? Fortune 500. I think it's improved slightly. Now we are 4.9 or something. Yeah, 4.8. 4.8. So let me bring it closer to you. How many women CEOs are there in the banking industry? We said you have to work very hard to all the women to come and see the banking industry. How many are there? Fortune banks, right? So how many women? Exactly. But, right? But then if we expand it beyond the 55, then maybe we become two, right? So that's what? Maybe the same 4.9 or 4.8%. Yeah? It's a real gender inequality. And so when you sit and you think, because there are not enough people, yeah, remind you of you. So gender equality, level and sustainable goals is what we're trying to reach. We have to start somewhere. And I'm glad to say that, there are many ways to start. For us, I mean, we need to make a deliberate effort. We're speaking about this over lunch as well, and really delighted. For the first time in Kenya, our management team, which is the leadership team, for the first time, we're 50 male. Never happened before. I was asked at lunchtime, so was that a mistake? I said, absolutely not. We must make deliberate efforts. We have a mother's room. That is one of the most exciting things that I had to work on. We don't have a mother's room for them to have this. So these are deliberate steps that we must make so that we can keep having more and more women representatives, and so that we don't feel like frauds wherever we go. We're all talented women. We're all women who can thrive. We're all women. I'll leave that to the dream of mine for another. I'll talk to you about it. So, I looked at, this has been a very wide spectrum to speak about. I looked at various articles, various journals, various books that I've read over time, to try and look for the message. What is my message? What is it that keeps me going? What is those things that keep me focused on growing? And I decided to reframe my journey rather than stand here and tell you, oh, I started in back in 1990, etc. I decided to frame my journey around sensitive leadership, an article I read a couple of years ago by Keynote. And a couple of you may know it, but I've just framed it into my own story. And this sense of leadership is focused on talented women, how talented women, all the women in this room, others would be how to thrive, how to grow, how to be successful. And then I focus on, and it has 5. So let me just speak to those 5 things and then what my story. The first thing I found useful and I've used in my life is you must find what you do. And this is not just finding meaning outside of your work. You find meaning at home and then when you come to work, you're like, oh, God, I'm here again forever. But what I do in my day-to-day job. And this is what probably has propelled me to 5 years. Imagine that 5 years, right? Especially that, right? Because, you all hear about data, challenge, it takes no prisoners. Very true. We talked about ulcers, and my first year, second year, I always those are saying. But seriously, years of really tough work. But I found it. I started as a relationship manager, dealing with clients. That was just as graduate training. And then I moved to Mombasa as women. So I did that. And when I moved to Mombasa and I met people like Nancy Madoni, I decided, okay, I don't think I want to be a relationship manager. For many, some of which are, when you're a relationship manager, you go and talk to your client about banking. First of all, we're only 2 relationship managers at one time. And half the conversations I used to have with they either want to value or a treat like that. They want to chat. This was 1991, 92, 93. You can imagine those are the days when we about women conversation, strength, power. You don't have a great network to rely on. So I moved to operations. Also, to improve my skills and I learned a lot about how to train a good trainer, how to understand what nuts and bolts, how to have a totally different area. I came back to Kenya, Nairobi. And then along the way, I moved to South Africa. South Africa was another. I moved to South Africa in 2002, and I was asked to go and do something I've never done. Talked to my husband, I said, what do you think? Something that my 2 children have deep women. Your husband is cool. But of course, you might but that's another story. But he became a good tourist and he came to visit. So in South Africa, I would sit there and say, oh, this is tough, that, I did this. We chose to do this. First of all, to open our children. And also to make for me to understand what I can work outside my area of comfort. Sometimes we feel we're the first activity that was tough. You learn that you can have strength. So it was a great experience. Came back to Kenya. Continue to develop because once you put your hand up to travel in an international, multinational organization, a global organization, then you're basically saying, I am ready to grow. So of course I came here, grew into transaction services, head of East Africa, banking head. And the next time there's an opportunity to go out and put up my hand again and was CEO of Banco. That was another wonderful experience. My children in the handbag again, and talking up, and continue. So basically, I found meaning in the role that I did, not just for me, but also for my family, my children, my parents, and strangers. We opened our eyes as a family, and I really think that I don't have regrets. I found meaning in what I did. Second point is, after finding meaning, I think it's managing your energy. Managing your energy in this case means to me
You know, this sounds like a joke. But when I say you need to stay alive, an environment like sitting behind, we all need it. Because sitting behind have a habit of falling down afterwards. Why? Because of course it's a very high stress environment. It's a Fortune 500 company, Wall Street, etc., take no business. So, right, I'm not one of those guys who just sit down and fall down because I'm not managing well. The way I see managing your energy is really focusing on your mind, your body, and your soul. And you've spoken about this. I had this something talked about mind, body, and soul. Yes. And truly, I am a firm believer of it. When it comes to the body, you know, I know we now have, remember me and joining Citibank where we didn't have all these wonderful things. Maternity was 2 months. What month was 2 months? If your child is 12 sick, your manager. So I discovered that my children simply enforced. We didn't have wonderful things. So you dealt with what comes to collect the juice, the families. So every morning we take orange salad. You know, all those things healthy. Very curious about it. Vitamins, all those things. Everyone has to explain, everyone has to see. Balance, etc. But guess what? A, to fall sick. B, like this. There was over time. It's so much better now. And you're so lucky that the world has evolved and people understand. But you know, this was the environment we worked in. Yeah, and we had to wait. So body, yes. Mind, keep it nourished, keep it refreshed, breathe, expand. I read to see it is out of absolute. But that's okay. You need to expand your mind. And then the soul. I'm sure this is the absolute right audience to say, pray, man. Because when in doubt, you have an extra source of strength. Don't rely on yourself. So for me, the soul, the nourishment of the soul is something I rely on heavily. And I'll tell you little things. I mean, I know this is the kind of group that would probably have done what I say, but like when I went to Zambia, this was a tall job. It was a job where I was the first Kenyan CEO. And it was not even Kenya. And then I went to a global meeting where all the 102 CEOs were meeting. And I looked at the ground the room. Not only was I the only black woman, but we're only 8 women. So we're less than 10%. Yeah? It's tough. It's tough when you walk onto the table and you find you are such a minority that is ridiculous. And so you start. I remember when I first went to New York for one of these CEOs, and I beat myself up. There I was, like everyone else, oh great, we're in New York, great. We all started, so the global CEO is walking in, this was big from he's walking in, and he's already here. The guy walks into a room full of 102 CEOs, global CEOs, and he walks straight up to me. And he says, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, fine, of course, it's just why I almost stopped. And then he was like, oh, so what do you think of what's going on? No, it wasn't sort of prepared, and I sort of started through it, and I don't think I did that. So he, and even after he could, you know, he had said what he had to say, he sort of hung around, but I didn't realize it was sort of a photo off. And then he went up to the table and told me, so here I was wondering what was, and why was I not doing? And it was only on the plane ride back, and this is in 2011, on the plane ride back that I realized, of course I was the only black woman in there. Of course we have it. You know, what stupidity was that, not to be prepared for such a situation? I promised myself one thing. Before I go anywhere, I kind of go through a paper that says, right, You have to have your power because you stand out. But the other way to do that is just get more women, up there so you don't stand out. Then you don't have to have those particular skills. So I just said myself, from writing, I stand off my feet. I said, never again. And I moved on. So that is mind, body, soul. The third thing is for me, have a positive brain. Positivity is something that I believe sets you forward. Makes you forward. And no one has to tell you this. So many books have been written about it. I believe I'm excessively positive. I accept the fact of positivity, however, but I focus on positive action. In other words, when even in a bad situation, like this year was it's a competitive market. We're struggling with all this. So those are the facts. You know what? The kind of strategy we have and the kind of things we're doing, very good. So that is being positive, but being focused. So I know the leadership team was having a training this yesterday. And some of the things that you were being told was how to look inside yourself and think, wow. I went through something like that when I came to Kenya last year. I came to Kenya last year. Then my management of 12 were asked to do what you call a new management program. So I have to step out of the room. So they give feedback. What did she do? What did she stop at what? All that stuff. And then at the end of the day, you come in and you find out they didn't do that part. It's not identified, so they can be completely honest. And I remember one looking at the wall, and one of the things that stood out to me was that he said, she's too positive. But then they asked, and I had to give them some answers. So I chose that one. The truth is, I was, but I was brought up by a very, very positive. I was brought up by my father, who was sensitive and positive. He's so positive, like the kind of guy who would say, what the guy would say? He says things like, what the guy when I was doing this? But you know what? One thing that first of all, the father died at 8 years old for the rest of their life. I know all the that's how he has always fought. And growing up, we talked about it was my extensively positive voice. So I'd walk into a room, I'm 8 years old, I'm 8-year-old, no. But we go to a cocktail and now I'm an adult. Oh my gosh. People, do you know this picture of But you know what? That was the voice. It was a positive voice. So when life happened and that was my that was so that has kept me and I'm happy about it. But what I have to then do is encourage people around me and not encourage them and give them exactly. So that's what I learned from that and that. So, but I really try to stay positive. The fourth thing for me is connect, build your network. You've heard this, but this but let me tell you, 1990, that to get along over the years, feel like that. You have a network, both internal network and external network. It's so difficult, right? Absolutely difficult. And your network could be anything. I have grown with mentors, and mentors change. I remember my first positive influence. My first was Jane Briggs. I didn't have your people. She was a treasure. Jane Briggs, and then you evolve, and mentors come to change, etc. But I think mentor is one thing, coach is another, but also just looking at that, and I think at least it's something I realized when I went to Zambia. I went to Zambia in 2011 as CEO, and on a Monday. I landed on a Monday, I walked around the bank, said my day one, and I went to a hotel. Stayed there and I realized, you know what? I know absolutely nobody outside. I have absolutely zero. Zero. I mean, that's what coming from a place like Kenya, where you went to primary school, high school, you know everybody. And to work on Tuesday, went back to my hotel, and I'm supposed to leave this thing and go to this thing now. So on Saturday, I asked the driver to go. And I asked them, and then some asked, what's the best way to do golf? And so we sat there. Sorting out the forward. I went on Sunday. And I was so, golf is like, it's one of those games that you can play with absolute safety. I played golf for business. So I rented clubs, I got a 4-ball, and those were my first, and that was my first time. Next Sunday I went again, I got another. I went every Sunday until my family came 2.5 months. That's how Sunday was big. So much was so that about 9 months later there was a national election, and the people that I was playing 4-ball with, one of them was so, you know how you're lucky that you got the right 4-ball? So build your network in any way. I am 0 minutes. Oh, sorry. Okay, the last thing. The last thing is engaging. This is for me action. My story is about engage. Find your voice. Find it. Don't, and this really goes against us. It goes against so many things that we're talking about. Not that, all those things. And we're always told we need to work hard to get along, right? A few don't choose. Yes, work hard, but actually work hard is work hard, but you find your goal. Because if you're not the one who's going to sing your own, tell your own story, who must tell your story? Hard work is very noticed in the world. Hard work alone. Hard work comes to build. Not stay around. Don't sit around waiting to be noticed. And I'll tell you, not only should you find your voice, but what you talk about is also pretty. And I was telling my second this when she told me, Tony, I want to talk about I wouldn't want to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. When I came to Kenya 9 months ago, everyone was talking about, oh, buses and that, and I quite want to journalism. But all the conversations were about, oh, how to choose a woman, how to go back marriage to one time, how to back family, how to, these are very important conversations. It's not like not the only brand I want to have. So I decided I'm going to do my own conversation. So the KPA was having, KPA was doing this, what's it called? the conversations with CEOs. Yeah? The talking to people, and we were doing the chat, the CEO chat. And so they called me Guru and said, okay, so what do you want to talk about? Oh, and she said, okay, oil and gas. And then I discovered I knew nothing about it. So I studied the man, I read up, everything before the CEO chapter. Let me tell you, I knew more about oil and gas than anyone in our family. I reached out to another law, oil companies. I read everything that every analyst had ever written about. Because what? I'm not going to talk about what the world is talking. We need to have real conversations. Real conversations. Talk about fight. You may not know everything. Challenge yourself. So that women are not just about the CEO job, Citibank, we see the oil and gas. And that's what we want to find out. So I chose to have this conversation. But basically, I think that point here is engaging confidence. So I want to end with what gives me confidence. To be very honest, I rarely happen. I wake up in the morning and I say, oh my God, you want to stop? That's why I think it. And then I usually open my iPad, get to something called Bible, and I read out a verse. And I show it to the person, yeah, that's my verse for this year. That is Joshua 1:9, the one we learned in primary school. I said, have I not commanded you? That means he has told you before. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Not be afraid or be neither frightened nor dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. When I look at that, Central Bank, New York, so on that very note, I'd like to thank you.
And join me in applauding our two guests. Yes, I think we are going to thank you. I think we are going to do it the way we did for the DG, which our director of executive. So now we are giving her here, and on top of that, we are going to give her a flower. So if you want to fight, and then we do this, we're giving her the flower, okay? So now let us start. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. Now we are going to invite our panelists to come in front for our discussion. And as we do that, we will introduce to you our two other guests that come here by that is Nancy, Tony, I didn't even ask her. So, Claudia, you're very good. Oh, yes, thank you so much. I really have forgotten about it. Thank you. So, we are now going to invite all our panelists to come and talk and do that. And our own HR director, Mary Wacheke, kindly please the rest as we come in front. Nancy Moloney, the CEO, First Avenue. Oh yes, we also have police from the Secretary of Police. Thank you very much. And we have
so the business case for us is really about harnessing the potential of women to be equal contributors together with men in building strong companies.
Gender equality is the priority of our business because it is the foundation of our success in the market.
You pause that, please, so you can start from the beginning. But really, ladies, you have very fantastic companies. You have a short time to discuss your practice. And maybe you have any questions can pick maybe 4 or 5 questions. Want you to interact with our panelists. This session is yours for you to interact with panelists. I hope you've got mics all over. We have mics. We have mics spread across the audience. We don't want to hold any time to ourselves. We would like to ask as many questions as possible. But I'm going to reposition our conversation. This conversation is positioned globally, nationally, within our gender commission here in Kenya and within our constitution and various articles of constitution, was properly positioned within CBK, and I'm sure you heard a lot from our DG speech. And with that, just to give you a position in terms of globally, UN Women has come together with the United Nations Global Compact to speak about women and workplace and women and business. And because of that, I would like you to watch the 7 principles of women empowerment principles, which all CEOs are standing up and signing. And I want to say that congratulations to CBK, our central bank governor, this year, just before we went to New York for the United Nations Women Empowerment Principle, he signed the CEO commitment for the UN web. So it is something great. We should celebrate. We should be happy that as CBK, our own governor, our own CEO, signed the United Nations Women Empowerment Principle, which has got 7 principles on how we should be able to attract women in our institutions. And we want to add more to do so. So let's clap for CBK and CBK management. So we are going to watch the 7 principles. What are they? What are women empowerment principles that are globally used to actually then embed the issue of women empowerment in organization? So you can play the clip, please. They represent really a global standard.
International community, these are the recognized principles for women's equality participation.
They represent really a global standard that's been accepted all around the world, and that's picked by 7 very distinct principles that all companies follow. Equality is different. We're in a global economy with a global organization. So this is a matter of equilibrium. The business case for us is critical. We can back up our arguments with facts and figures. It's really about harnessing the potential of women to be equal contributors together with men in building strong companies.
Gender equality is the priority of our business because it is the foundation of our success in the marketplace.
これ社会貢献だけって考えちゃいけないと思います。我々民間企業の経営者は女性を取り込むことによって業績が上がるということを知っています。
We're responsible for 20% of world trade, so we know that in terms of women's economic empowerment,
to promote and also help women and also empower women.
El tema de la diversidad del género y el empoderamiento de la mujer es una cuestión y una prioridad muy importante y que consideramos que es una cuestión de negocio sobre la cual hay que seguir avanzando.
Unless we get the full support from men leaders, we will not be able to get our dreams realized. Therefore, let's do more and mobilize men. I think you are mobilizing me as a man.
research has shown that the group with the background innovates and perform better than group with uniform background. Gender equality is clearly the critical step to achieve if you want to become relevant or very relevant in today's economy and today's employ a total of 58,000 people. Almost 88% are women. So it makes both business sense and social sense in having a program that empowers women.
By adding more women to our industry, we're actually can get a stronger, better industry with smarter people.
Violence against women is a direct health issue for women. It's also an economic issue because we think by giving women training in both vocational skills and entrepreneurship, it gives them the ability to cut the cycle of violence.
Before you talk about the glass ceiling, let's talk about the city floors. Address the leadership pipeline for the beginning. At the entry level, we want to get a high talent of more women at the entry level, and then support them through the leadership pipeline.
We see the business case for investing in women, and we have set ourselves the target to ensure that 25% of our SME lending goes to women-owned enterprises. Investing in women is good for development and good for business.
Imperative for us, both as a business case and also just funding for human rights, or our women to actually bring programs to teach about the West to the women in the community and the men.
Principle number 7 is very, very important, and we must drive it. And that is where the crux of the matter is: measurement and monitoring, and of course improving from there.
Because we all know that what gets measured gets done.
These leaders and others around the world have publicly signed a CEO statement.
Signing the Women's Empowerment Principles sends a very important message about your willingness to take a stance for gender equality. What we need now is courage. What we need is individuals to be able to stand up for what we know to be right. Equality does mean business.
And the skeptics that we want to get on board and hopefully increase the number of web signatories very, very soon. In fact,
os webs são a melhor plataforma a ser adotada para que as empresas possam avançar.
People driving innovation and growth using the Women's Empowerment Principles are able to say, looking back on this in the future, this made it easier for us to drive.
So thank you very much. It's just for you to know that those are the women empowerment principles, and we are going to continue to create much more awareness of women empowerment principles globally, locally, and in every area where we have business. And we are very proud again to repeat and to say that Central Bank of Kenya signed the CEO commitment for women empowerment for this year. I think we are the only central bank in Africa that has signed so. And we would like, again, Central Bank as a regulator and really as a motherland to drive influence and in terms of speech and conversation and voice, even in terms of the financial sector, for all the CEOs to also sign the CEO commitment, because it says that we are standing up for gender equality for a more sustainable world. So thank you so much, and I know Joyce and will be signing the CEO statement very soon on behalf of Citibank. So our panelists, thank you so much for joining us. I think I will give 5 minutes to Modoni just to speak to us about women and property very quickly, and then we shall come to Pauline. Pauline is a general manager in terms of customer service in Chase Bank, and she joined us. She works a lot among the young women and girls. I think this weekend we were speaking to about 5,000 young girls, 11,000 young girls. So she is doing a lot of mentorship for young girls. And therefore, it's just for her to encourage you much more that even as a corporate woman, you can be making a contribution among the young girls in your neighborhood, in your church, in your village, in your mosque, in your primary school,